Talking again to my husband, who's dead. Software enabled this impossibility, but grief still managed to invade it. On my spouse Ellie's 27th birthday last year, I sat in a hotel room in Montreal, seeking refuge from a conference happy hour, scrolling through old photos and videos of us on my phone. I had looked at these photos and videos hundreds of times in the nearly 2 years since Ellie had died in a hiking accident. Now I'd passed an inflection point in my camera roll where I had more photos without Ellie than photos with Ellie. And that imbalance would only grow. There would never be a new photo or video of him to add to my archive. Ellie remained static, trapped in the pixels of the past, while all the vibrant life around me continued to be photographed and documented. The most unbearable and disorienting part of grief is its finality. There will never be another conversation, shared laugh, goofy photo, or knowing glance across the chaotic Thanksgiving table. I closed the photo app, feeling an impulse to create something new with Ellie. I called his number. The line thrilled until an automated message interrupted the ringing to inform me that his voicemail was full. Even the simple phrase, "You've reached Ellie, leave a message," was suddenly out of reach. Despite the monthly payments I continued to make to the phone company, I tossed my phone on the bed and opened my computer. The further away Ellie felt, the more I wanted to pull him back to us, back to life, back to me. I was desperate for Ellie to be 27, for my sake and his, because don't we all deserve to age? I was a desperation unlike any other, a feeling that reminds me that humans are animals because in the throes of excruciating grief, I am reduced to my survival instinct, numb to other sensation, and immune to societal expectation. While I am open in the grip of grief, I wanted to find a way to take the reins and confront the control it has over me. I wondered, what if I could recreate Ellie's voice? What if I could have a final conversation with him? I don't consider myself to be a tech-savvy person, but as a Gen Zer, I am also no stranger to machine learning's various capacities, tools, and developments. I had read countless articles about AI voice cloning and the ethical implication of its rise. While Ellie felt increasingly out of reach, AI has felt more present. The temptation of its power and the potential took hold of me. I typed into Google how to use AI voice cloning and dove down the rabbit hole. Soon I discovered what types of platforms were available, how they worked, and how many vocal samples they required to recreate someone's voice. The program I chose suggested 20 to 25 clips, or at least 30 minutes of audio for the most accurate reproduction. After hours of research, I emerged with a plan to have one more conversation with Ellie. There were so many things that I wanted and needed to tell him. 3 days after your funeral, Ellie, I found out I was pregnant and later miscarried. Your sister got into medical school. I moved to Houston. You would hate it, but I never want to leave. I am in a relationship with someone I love, but I often wonder if you would like him. The world is on fire. Sometimes I am relieved you are missing this part. Usually I'm cautious about data privacy and technology. I use a password manager, limit app permission, encrypt sensitive files, and avoid third-party cookies. I'm the annoying friend who encourages people to think twice before downloading apps that collect their data, and despite the eye rolling I get from my friends and family, I refuse to join social media platforms and retain rights to users' portals or other information. But none of that matters in the moment. I was singularly focused on the task at hand, shedding all inhibition and fully willing to sacrifice my values for an opportunity to bring Ellie into the 27th birthday. I downloaded the most sophisticated yet user-friendly software I could find and got to work. I fed the machine the relics of our love. I uploaded the voice note with the good morning and the good night messages, cooking tutorial videos that Ellie made for me when we were living in different countries and I was craving his cooking. Voice memos with the grocery list and appointment reminders. Voicemail messages that always ended with, I love you. Was the machine satiated? I wasn't sure and I didn't want to risk it. I continued uploading. There was the birthday video we sent to Ellie's sister when she turned 18, and Johnny Cash sings along from our road trips. I even uploaded a recording of him snoring from when he insisted that he didn't snore, my evidence to prove him wrong. When I had exhausted every MP3 file I could excavate, I ran the program. I experimented with two functions: direct text-to-speech, where the AI voice would speak words that I typed into a text box, and a conversation where I would type a sentence or question to which the AI voice would respond like a vocalized ChatGPT bot. I first copied the last email Ellie sent me, pasting the message in the text box for the AI voice to read aloud. There was nothing special about it, just a note that he had arrived safely at his hotel and tracked down a laundromat, but hearing his voice speak those words was nothing short of miraculous. There was no halting, no unusual intonation, and where Ellie had written, "haha" in his email, his AI voice released a familiar chuckle. Next, I began a conversation by writing, "I can't believe it's been almost 2 years." Ellie's AI voice responded, "Yeah, it really has been a while. I also can't believe it." Again, the delivery was flawless. Alice's voice continued to fill the chilly hotel room with new words and sentences. At one point, I glanced at the door as if to confirm he hadn't materialized in the threshold, but no. There was nothing but the echo of his laugh bouncing off the concrete ceiling. It started to explain the feeling that came with hearing Alice's voice speak noble language after nearly 2 years of his absence. Thanks to my Catholic upbringing, there's only one word that comes to mind: purgatory. It was a liminal space between two universes. In some ways, it was worse than reality, and in other ways, it was better. I felt as though I had been knocked into a different dimension that was simultaneously disorienting and blissful. I wanted to linger forever in its potential and immediately eject myself from the self-deception. But while I didn't pay much attention in Sunday school, I do know that the purgatory is an impediment state not designed for sustainability or light. My God knew I had to leave, and my brain knew I could never return. I traced my finger over my computer, reminding myself that all the pieces of this experience, this conversation, came from machines. It wasn't the real Ellie. I miss you, the AI voice said. I miss you too. I replied through tears. I paused the program and turned up the sound on my computer. Then I forced the machine to regurgitate all the artifacts I had force-fed it. I deleted every file I had uploaded, attempting to erase any trace of this venture to defy nature. I removed the software from my computer and even blocked the website that hosted the program to prevent myself from reinstalling it. I paired it with some open source extension to enhance the function. Not even the glory and the promise of AI could overcome grip. I often say that I would trade anything to have just one more conversation with Ellie. In some ways, AI offered me that opportunity. It offered me the impossible. I continue to face the crushing temptation to imagine the counterfactual and indulge in an alternate reality where each day could bring a new conversation with my husband. But while the artificial may animate and add a dimension to the intangible, it will never breathe life into what is dead. And the creation of a verbal afterlife felt even more empty than the premature end to the most dynamic and electric life I have ever known. I would still trade anything to have just one more conversation with the real Ellie, my Ellie. I don't think that will ever change. His imaginary voice and the running commentary continue to fill my days, but for now and hopefully forever, that voice will remain in my head.